Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of our Syndicate Off-Road podcast. Serge here with Syndicate Off-Road.
Let's take that down just a little bit, buddy, okay?
Saying it's Saturday morning, it's the weekend.
Good morning.
What's up? So
Guten
excited
Morgen.
to be here. Huh?
I said Guten Morgen.
Hey, listen.
I don't even know what that means.
You see
Good
the size of
morning.
my cup of coffee here? Let me see. Put it next to yours right there. Yep, that's why I have that much energy. Thank you. Bye-bye. So, yeah. Anyways, long week, busy week, getting ready for all the exciting stuff we have coming up, all the events, King of the Hammers. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Still stressed out. Still stressed out.
Let me tell you, last night I lay down, just to relax. My brain kept spinning about
All the logistics.
how we're going to get everything done, everything from, and then I was like, man, are we biting more than we can chew once again?
Dude, that's
Like-
all he ever does. He just throw
sit
these
there
Let's do this. Let's do that.
ridiculous
Let's do this. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's have Camp Syndicate. Let's feed everyone. And then it's like, how are we going to get all this done on time?
You put that
plus the
stress on
trailer
yourself,
builds,
buddy.
plus the work we
Yeah,
have here.
literally.
Anyways,
Okay,
but you know what?
let's get into the
That's
episode.
what Syndicate does.
Let's get into the episode. I know last time on our first one, we kind of said on this episode, we're going to dive in and kind of talk to people about how we started, like what came about, like what made us want to do all of that. And
How
bring the
we came
clubs
about.
and- yeah, all that good
Exactly.
stuff. So I
It
think
definitely was a while.
Yeah, I think he should pick up in the beginning though, because it was your idea originally. I'm not giving you all the credit at all. One bit. But
I'll take
just
it.
go ahead
This
and-
was my baby.
it's
you
not-
know?
absolutely not.
Um,
He's just the guy who throws the ideas out there, and he's like, "Okay, I don't want to do anything.
Okay, do it.
I'm
Do
just
it.
the big idea
it.
guy. Go do everything. Go do everything."
We should do this, but you should do the work.
Yeah.
someone's got to be the idea man around here. One chief, the rest are Indians. Is how I look at it.
Oh.
So,
Chief's leg.
so I would say close to 2 years ago, as I was doing my first build, which was also a 2-door JK, Rubicon, and I was beginning the build. I decided to, take it up to Big Bear, which is obviously right in our backyard, and ride with the big group. I think the group of the day was about 15 Jeeps deep doing Gold Mountain.
It's a good beginner trail.
Yeah, it was awesome actually.
Though.
But it took forever. Yes, it did take forever. 15
went with him,
rigs.
right?
No, he wasn't
I
with
did.
me.
I
Okay.
was
A good friend of mine was with me, but yeah, he was still asleep. He was nowhere near.
I didn't
waking
even have
up.
a truck or anything at that point yet, though.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm not going to say who I went with because they are another big page around here locally, and I don't want to, badge anyone, but I will say that the experience was horrible. The off-roading part of it was great. The Gold Mountain, the weather, everything, but some of the other guests that were there were not friendly at all, were actually rude to a certain degree, were very cliquey, and the person that put the trail together and did the whole thing, very well-known page on Facebook. I had a bad taste in my mouth, to make a long story short. So by the time the trail was done, and this good friend of mine looked at me and he's saying, the jeeping was fun, but the actual experience of being around these people was not. I was like, yeah, I agree. So it kind of made me angry, to be honest with you. It made me mad.
I don't mean to interrupt, but speaking of angry, can we just make it public that Sergio did have an angry grill on his 2-door JK? I mean,
like I said, it was my first build, and
whoa, buddy.
okay,
I mean,
look.
it matches your personality. You're just a grumpy old man. All
Let's-
the time. But I just want to throw
let's-
that out there for the public so you can get roasted later on. But continue.
To say the least. Have you seen all the angry grill memes out there? Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyways,
Those things are blowing up all over the place.
they are, but yeah,
And you had one, but
it's
anyways.
silly, yeah. So anyways, maybe that's why they didn't like me.
Maybe
Maybe that's why no one wanted to
They
be.
saw your
You know what?
jeans and they saw your
Exactly why.
face.
No, I get it. Like they were like, dude, really? Yeah, not talking to that guy. So, anyways, I kind of sat on that frustration for a few days because I knew one thing for sure: off-road was not that at all. It was not supposed to be that unfriendly and that uncomfortable. It was supposed
Not
to be
that kind of community.
the complete opposite. And I'm like, okay, this is not cool. So as you know, we are the type of individuals that don't wait for things to happen. Instead, we decide to make things happen. We don't wait for things to be given to us. Instead, we've decided to do for ourselves. So I came back and I discussed the frustration with my son, with Christian, and I was like, I took him through the whole scenario, and I was like, you know what? How about we do this? How about we start our own brand? Not brand because I wasn't thinking of it like that at that
It
point,
was
but like
club at the beginning.
how about we
It was
start
a
our
club.
own little group of people to go off-roading with?
Right.
And how about we don't depend on anyone else for this? And he was just like, oh, cool. Sounds good to me. You know, like, why not? So then next comes, okay, well, what are we going to call this little group? Started going through the dictionary, started kind of like thinking of names. And of course, you know, wanted something kind of cool, very cool. So I just found the Syndicate name, and then I looked up the meaning in the dictionary, and the meaning was perfect. It was like
Literally couldn't have been any
perfect.
better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Syndicate is a large group of people that get together to do something that they're all passionate about. Basically, is the meaning of Syndicate. Initially, when we first launched Syndicate, it was just Syndicate, and then eventually we ended up tagging the off-road or adding the off-road, and that was after you joined.
Motorsports. It was motorsports.
It started
Motorsports at
motorsports,
first.
but that was very like maybe a few weeks, a couple months
Nah,
of
it
that.
was a
Probably
few months.
Probably a couple months.
Because
But
we did shirt printing, we did a lot of stuff for it.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, that's true.
but anyways, that's where it all began, and then from there, of course, we again something else that we always do is like, okay, we have this name, we have this brand, we know why we started it because we want everyone that rides with us, everyone that is part of the Syndicate brand to feel welcome, to be friendly, to feel like they're part of something bigger than just going out for the day. We want them to feel like they are taken care of, all of the above. But then at the same time, I still wasn't happy because I'm okay with having a group or going off-roading, but it's like at the end of the day, we're businessmen. So it's like, okay, how do we get this brand or this name to make us money? Because we are business owners and we do have a wrap shop and we've done other things in the past. So it's like, that's when I believe we started to discuss options with you.
Yeah.
And we discussed at that point, I think, is when you came in and you had a whole nother part of it that you were like, hey guys, well, look at what I've been doing.
The
So
e-commerce and what
you
Yeah.
can take it from here.
Yeah, for people that don't know, I used to do I used to work on my own as kind of like a, self entrepreneur or something like that. I used to own and operate my own e-commerce stores and just run drop shipping websites, and that's how I made, a good chunk of my money. And then I brought all of those ideas to the table and we said, hey, why don't we turn that not necessarily into like an e-commerce store, but like a retail parts vendor, or selling off-road retail parts to the public. So that's kind of where that idea came from, and it was fun. We learned a lot from it. But I had a couple conversations with some people in the industry, and I just said, like, it got to the point where it's like, it's so boring. I don't want to do it anymore. I want to build something. I want to attach something that was like literally made in-house from us. It's cool because I think going that route in the beginning, we were able to meet a lot of good people, make a lot of relationships.
Great, yeah.
Like I felt like we went from like 0 to 100 in that first year really quick, just because we were parts vendors. So we were able to get in with companies and talk to them and just make friends and grow the community that way. Aside from the clubs, it's like that's another discussion that we'll get into in a little bit. But I think after a while it just got pretty redundant, Like that's the kind of guy I am personally. Like when I start doing things over and over and over again, I'm just like, okay.
Not only that, but there was the learning curves and what we ended up realizing really quick as far as like, look, truth be told, there's very little to no profit in parts. Mm-hmm. If you're not the parts / also shop that can install them, which, for many of you out there that don't know this, the money's in the labor. It's not in the parts. Parts is minimal, 5%, 10%. You're lucky if you're getting 15%, unless you're this huge fourwheelparts.com company that buys so much that they get the best. Other than that, there's no money in that. But yet the amount of work that you have to put into it is out of control. Everything from the website building part of it to the spending, the countless hours that we did spend. I will say but you guys spent inputting data. Not just you guys, but we had a bigger team and inputting data, doing research, contacting people. It was just crazy. And then we quickly realized as we started to create, make sales, wait a minute, the profit versus the amount of work that we're putting into this, it's not worth it.
True, very true. But let's not forget that we did actually do pretty well with our shirt sales.
The shirt sales
did well.
Because we started doing kind of one-off custom stuff for a while, so it was moving pretty well.
Yeah, because I used to do a lot of like Facebook advertising and that good stuff. So I think I don't even want to throw a number out there, but it was decent for T-shirt sales.
Yeah, the T-shirt sales did well, and again, I'll let everyone else know this that doesn't know this. We at one point, now we've sold everything, but we had our own garment printing part of the business here as well.
That was attached to the wrap shop.
Direct to garment printing. We did screen printing. We did pretty much anything and everything that you can imagine. But we've sold that part. We're trying to bring the operation in and make it a little cleaner. But yeah, that did do well for us. That actually did really well. It was keeping us busy.
It got pretty hectic too, because we were doing like
got very hectic.
60, 70
literally
orders
running to the post
day.
Office every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day.
I think the ads were doing great. I think we had like a 2.53 ROI or something like that. So it was good. It was
really good. But as you said, even though we were doing well with that, it wasn't what we were aiming for. I think we all knew deep in our hearts that this is not what Syndicate is about.
There was more. There was
Syndicate is not about this. We don't want to be
big.
T-shirt guys.
Right.
So now, we just kept going along. It's funny because it was frustrating at that point, but it's amusing now that we didn't really have a solid direction. I remember we would have these conversations. We would get together, and at points we would get so frustrated at each other because I think we all had different ideas of where Syndicate was headed. Mm-hmm. You had one idea, he had another, I had a completely different one, and we would get into these heated arguments about, well, I thought we said we were going in this direction, and I thought we said, and it was
and at the same time, we literally had 3 different ideas coming to the table, and at the same time, we had a marketing company that we were running on the back end.
Yeah.
So it's like we had all this day-to-day traffic, wraps, and T-shirts and garments and signs and all that good stuff on top of, okay, what free time do we have? Let's put it into Syndicate. Like, what are we going to do?
And literally, it wasn't even where's the free time. It's like we have to create that, whether it's during lunch, whether it's doing a quick break, whether it's like I'm out on a job or going to a job or doing this and that. It's like it's always going to happen.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget to mention, I mean, the keeping on top of the whole social media aspect of it, it's a job on itself. Yeah. It's that in itself, creating the relationships.
That's a whole
attending the events that we got invited to, that's now coming into the weekends. So literally you're working 7 days a week to not get the business off the ground because it's not even close to that, but to get the brand to a point where at least people now hear the name and they're like, oh yeah, we know who you guys are, or we've seen you guys, or we've heard about you guys. Like, whereas when we first launched, it was like, yeah, no. Who are you guys? We don't care. Bye-bye. Now it's like we went from like, hey, can you put a decal on your vehicle of Syndicate Off-Road to like, hey, can you guys get me a decal? I would love to rep it on my vehicle. And that's pretty cool.
I think I forgot we had a conversation about that too, and at that point when it first started, we were just a page. Mm-hmm. We were just some Instagram page, like influencer type stuff, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to build a brand, be somebody. And then that's when we all just collaborated and it's like, okay, I can't make it, but he's going to make it and you can't make it. So, we all just kind of figured it out. Like, I'm going to go here this day, you go there, just so the presence was there and making friends and relationships and all that good stuff. So
it ended up working out for us.
Yeah.
Especially the fact that there were 3 of us. So
yeah. A lot of work.
Definitely a benefit of that.
So it was definitely a rough year. So now, we'll move forward and we then, I don't want to make this story really long, but we then acquired, we built the relationships and we joined forces and then became Syndicate Jeep Club. And then we also joined forces and then became Syndicate Yodas as well. What people need to know out there is because we get this question a lot, okay, what's going on here? Because they see Syndicate Jeep Club, Syndicate Yodas, Syndicate Off-Road, and they're like, what is going on? So here's the bottom line. Syndicate Off-Road is the business, the brand, the business part of it. We are the creators. We are the business in every aspect. We're basically the ones that want to go out there and build the relationships, put the events together, grow the brand. We're the money guys. Then there's Syndicate Jeep Club. Syndicate Jeep Club is our extended family. Love them all, and they are fun. That's it. Syndicate Jeep Club is welcoming. They're warm. They're helpful. They're the coolest group of individuals that you can ever go off-roading with. Every single one of them will always greet you, make you feel comfortable. If something happens to your rig, they will all, if not most of them, will always be there to help, and they're strictly about having fun.
And not only that, guys, but it's also a family thing. Like, everyone takes their kids, everyone takes their wives, their girlfriends, whatever. Like, everybody comes, and it's just a big family Jeep.
Absolutely.
Day. It's
very
like,
family
we'll stop, we'll barbecue, the kids play. Everybody gets along. Mm-hmm. And it's great because you get to see the new members coming in and you get to see them joining and you get to see how welcoming the club is. Mm-hmm. And
I think Mojave Trail, that was a great.
And it was awesome because it's like that was our first time meeting almost half of those members. And it was just
Lone
cool
Pine was amazing. We've done Lone Pine. We did the Mojave Trail. Yeah. We've done Calico. We'll go out. We'll go camping. A ton of small stuff. Big Bears in our backyard. So we all, every weekend almost, Syndicate Jeep Club is out there doing something. But anyways, so they're the fun part of it. And then we have, of course, Syndicate Yodas. Syndicate Yodas is all Toyotas. They're not really, they don't want to claim themselves as not members. Everyone is just welcome to join them on a run. Everyone is welcome to join them on anything and everything that anyone wants to go on. You don't necessarily have to be a member, kind of like what Syndicate Jeep Club has. Syndicate Jeep Club, they want to get to know you, make you a member so that then you can be part of it. But and I will disclose this. Why is that? That's because when you go trailing with Jeeps and you do per se Gold Mountain, you don't want to have 20, 30 rigs out there. You have to be a lot more limited than if you go, say, with the Yodas and you go overlanding or you go to Cleghorn. That's a little more friendly as far as like how many rigs can join, and there's no cap on that per se.
And by the way, we don't exclude anybody from going on any trails. Our Jeep Club is awesome and is always inviting to everybody.
Same for the Yodas.
But yeah, definitely.
Same for the Yodas. But I'm just giving you guys the breakdown on why the two clubs are broken down differently, and that way everyone can understand. Well, why do I have to per se join the Jeep Club to go off-roading with them, whereas the Yodas are more, because it's a different. It's the same thing, but it's a different animal at the same time. They do different trails. The Yodas are a little more about overlanding and about doing things like that, maybe even events.
Kind of like long adventures too.
They like doing camping trips.
They literally
they do
a lot of adventures. Yeah,
they'll do like a 1 week state to state trip.
They're doing a trip to, I think I talked about this on the last show, but the trip to Tennessee, Nashville,
Memphis?
Tennessee,
Nashville.
in June.
So they're doing that versus like the Jeeps. If you don't do that in a Jeep club. You go more local. And if you do a long trip in a Jeep, you have to trailer. There's more things that come with it.
They're doing a trail.
Those are the differences.
Yeah, tomorrow.
This weekend, tomorrow.
I think it's Bundy Canyon.
I believe so. I'm not
Something like
sure.
that. But the reason we focused primarily on the Yodas and the Jeeps was because we noticed, being in the off-road world, that there was a kind of like a barrier between Jeeps and Toyotas.
A very fine line.
And it's like when you see the Toyotas or the Jeeps, see the Toyotas on the trail, it's like nobody waves, nobody acknowledges. It's like, you're a Toyota, you're a Jeep, I don't like you type of thing. And it's just like, why is that a thing? Where did that come from? It's like, it's a beef in the community that is there for no reason. And me being a truck owner and my dad being a Jeep owner, it's just like,
and
we live under the same house.
I'm a Toyota owner now.
Yeah, you don't count.
Nobody.
I'm a Toyota.
Yeah, no. No, but it's just like that was our main goal of having specifically a Jeep and a Toyota club, is we wanted to break those walls and kind of show people that you can have both and still be okay, or you can have the big family and you guys can go and trail and do. Obviously, certain vehicles can't do certain things.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you got to be like, oh, hey, I'm not going to say what's up, or we can't be cool when we're on the trail type of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like,
you know what really surprised me, though, about the Yodas? Because they came in, 5-6 months after the Jeep Club, something like that? Or maybe
it was only a couple months.
Couple months?
Yeah.
I mean, they barely started out, but their reach from how new the club is, or how new the group is, it just blows my mind. Like they had one run maybe 2 months after they started, and there's like over 30 rigs on Cleghorn.
We literally
local trail, for those that don't know.
Yeah,
it was just a madhouse. Or when we had the Off-Road Brewfest, they had people coming from Northern California, Arizona, Nevada, all to come down for our Brewfest for 4 hours?
They found out about it through the Yodas.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Crazy.
Speaking of Brewfest, are you guys excited about that for this year?
It was some of it was through Jesse, which is our co-president for the Yodas, his YouTube channel. He has a pretty big YouTube channel.
Go follow him on YouTube, guys. Jesse Rizzo,
yep. And then also the Trail Chasers. So our good friends Cody, Matt, and Jose. Yeah, so they own the Trail Chasers podcast, and they have a pretty good,
super cool.
Yeah, very cool guys.
Go check them out, guys. We have been featured on a couple episodes with them. They are great to be on with.
Yeah, we're hoping to have them on our podcast. Oh yeah,
and
they're super friendly.
And vice versa.
Those guys are awesome.
Yeah, those guys are cool. And it's cool too because we were there. We've known them since they first started the page, and we're like, oh yeah, we'll help you out. We'll blast you on Instagram and Facebook, and just try and help them build, because they're trying to build a brand, we're trying to build a brand. Why not just help? My whole mentality was, if we grow together. So we bring everybody up and never try and.
Yep, that's what it should be about, and that's what the Syndicate brand stands for. So. We are, again, super excited that this all started. We are, I think, considering the rough patches and the hard times that we hit and all the hard work, we're super excited that we have the brand now and that it's turning into its own basic, machine. And we look forward to seeing what else the brand brings and what our hard work is going to do for us.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the next step is to bring both the clubs in and sit down with them and talk to them about the joining and their experiences and all that good stuff. So
awesome.
How much they love us.
Yeah. And that
how much they love us. All right, guys. Well, thank you. We appreciate everyone that's listening. And
so check us out, guys. Offroadworld.tv. Check us out on Facebook as well, overlandtrailersusa.com, or Syndicate Offroad on Instagram as well. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Yeah.
Later, guys.
Bye.